Okay, so I'm slowly but surely becoming a PCV valve expert. All right, so I had an idle issue and my check valve was allowing air to blow through from the intake side, which would be through here, back into the PCV side of the system, which is supposed to be low pressure, so that's bad. Now, in here, behind this guy, is that guy. This gasket, well, it's difficult to tell. See how it's concave this way, convex the other way. This was in there like the concave way. Well, depends on what direction, but so the air is supposed to come from the inside towards us through here, right? This would be best oriented this way then, because when air gets drawn into this shape, it will press, like suction down, right? And if you're concave, see if we can see this. If you're concave, you have a natural, it's not showing, I'm not gonna be able to show you that way, but you have a natural press down. Whereas the other way, if you're this way, it's tough to see it, but then it's got to go over its apex to seal, right? Whereas this way, it's just got to go flat, and it's already mostly there. And then when the air blows out, it pushes it out, right? And the air moves through, see those little circles in there? There's 4 of them. So I had aeration before, so what I did is I just took some carb cleaner, and with the little red, the spigot thing that comes on them, I blew into these holes. Once I removed the gasket, which I removed with a small screwdriver to go in on the edge and kind of lift it up a little bit, and then tweezers to get a good grip on it and pull it off. Obviously you can see the circumference of this is much greater than the circumference of our inner hole. So getting it back on is going to be something, but I'm going to hit it with some silicone lube and try to put it on. Again, this was backwards in my opinion of what it should be. So the concave side should be, well, the convex side should be facing out. And that's just more conducive to the way the system works. I'm going to throw it back together and see if that fixes it, because I ordered a new part, but then I was looking at this and I'm like, well, that gasket in there is probably acting like a reed valve. And so I removed it, and then there's no stoppage whatsoever in the system. So it's obviously this guy was doing everything to do with this check valve, right? So all I really need to do is make sure this guy works. And worst case, like if for some reason this still doesn't work once I put it back in, I can go to a hardware store and just find some sort of like sink washer or like anything, and just make sure that it has the same, width, thickness, so it has the same play, and use it. Like anything will work. Like my, I was moving over there like I'd be able to show you, but I had to remove my dipstick when I was doing some other work. And there was a gasket on the bottom of that, and I sheared it off twice, trying to put it back in, because it's tricky to get back in. Even oiled up and everything, I managed to shear it off twice. Talent. But I just went to the hardware store and found a sink gasket, because sink gaskets are made for heat, right? And water, I mean, it gets pretty hot coming out of the hot faucet, so it's pretty much perfect application. And just look for something that matched on the diameter, so you get proper contact seal of the gasket, and it worked perfectly fine. It's been working fine for weeks and weeks. And I check it every once in a while to see if there's any seepage or anything coming out of the bottom of the dipstick, and it's perfectly fine. So it's just about figuring out the exact medium that you need that matches up closely, and then instead of spending $300 on a new PCV system, I can just go to the hardware store and buy a 2-cent gasket, and I almost guarantee this will work. Just flip this gasket and we'll be perfectly fine, because it'll be working, and it's better orientation, and I think it was just misinstalled. But we'll find out, and I'll put that part in text on the post if I post this.